Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike is here, and this is day 20 of And the Oscar goes to my daily short videos on who I believe will win, and in some cases, who I think should win the big prize coming up this Sunday, March 2nd. We are in that home stretch, and for these last 4 days, we're going to be looking at the feature films vying for those top prizes. And first up is Best Documentary Feature. And the nominees are Black Box Diaries, Shiori Ito, Eric Nyari, and Hanna Aqvilin. No Other Land, Basel Adra, Rachel Szor, Hamdan Ballal, and Yuval Abraham. Porcelain War, Brendan Bellomo, Slava Leontyev, Aniela Sidorska, and Paula DuPre Pesmen. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, Johan Grimonprez, Daan Milius, and Rémi Grellety. And Sugarcane, Julian Brave NoiseCat, Emily Kassie, and Kellen Quinn. Let's look at these a little more closely, starting with Black Box Diaries. This looks at the film's maker, Shiori Ito, a journalist who is sexually assaulted, and we follow her as she tries to pursue legal matters against the aggressor, although a bit of a challenge given that he is a predominant figure in Japan. This documentary chronicles the landmark case that calls into question the societal system, as well as other challenges that Ito is facing while trying to fight for herself. No Other Land is a look at the current Palestinian and Israeli conflict. In the small village of Masaferyata on the West Bank, we meet Palestinian activist Basel Adra, who forms an alliance with Israeli journalist Hamdan Ballal, which that union has its own challenges, but they go and document the harassment the residents suffer at the hands of the military as they keep demolishing homes, stores, and other areas in order to build a new base. Porcelain War is a look at the current Russian and Ukrainian war. We follow the trio of Slava Leontyev, Anya Stasenko, and Andrei Stefanov, all artists, as they become part of the Saigon Unit, a group of Ukrainian volunteers who have joined the special forces to defend their land and fight the trained Russian soldiers. These three find that in addition to surviving, the best defense they have is to continue creating art and showing the power of the human spirit. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat looks at the 1961 assassination of Patrice Lumumba, the former prime minister of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and all the controversies surrounding it that led to prominent jazz musicians of the era, Louis Armstrong, Abbey Lincoln, and Max Roach, to protest and attempt to see what's going on at the United Nations Security Council. We are given just a small glimpse into the challenge of the Congo wanting to have a seat at the table. And finally, Sugarcane, not sweet at all, which looks at the sugarcane reserve that was once the scene of an Indian residential school that the natives were forced to attend in Canada. Young people who were then resulted in being physically, sexually, and verbally abused, and in some cases, before they vanished. Years later, uncovering unmarked graves, the team behind this documentary sets out to conduct the investigation into this dark chapter of history. Whew. Strong category this year. Now, of these five, there's only one that I wasn't too crazy about. Felt it was a little long. If you're curious, that was Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. You can find my review earlier this season. You can find it in the YouTube channel. Perhaps maybe I am a little bit, I don't know. The one that I would like to see win for nothing else, and it's my bias about being an artist. And obviously I don't want to diminish the situation that's in Ukraine, but because it's about the current events and the power of art, I would like to see Porcelain War be the one to win, and not just win, but tie. Because I also feel this is another category this year. I wish there would be a tie, and there probably won't be. But the documentary, this is the one that I would want to win. The one, though, that should win and is going to win, being perfectly honest, is No Other Land. This documentary has been, dominating this season for all the right reasons. It is a necessary but heartbreaking film to watch. And when you see some of the events, you see the danger Adra and Ballal put themselves in to get this story documented. So this one is very intense. So there you have it. Do you agree with me? Well, let me know in those comments. We only have a few days left. Tomorrow I'll be sharing my thoughts on the best animated feature film. But until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.